world, welcome to my channel. My name is Wenai, and on my channel I talk about money, investing, self-improvement, and anything that makes your life better. It's the end of the year, and I wanted to do a little summary of 2020. So I did a little internet research, as I always do, and I quickly find out that all the summary or year-end review are for work. There are a lot of tips and recommendations on how to handle the conversation between you and your boss, how to best present your performance for the past year to maybe get a raise. And it got me thinking, what about our performance as a person? Who do we report to as our boss for our life? And how did we do our life in the past year? So I decided to make my own summary of 2020 and be that search result when you go online to search for a year-end review. 2020 is definitely one of a kind. Our life changed almost overnight, and everything in our life changed. But regardless of how crazy the world is, we will always have to connect with other people one way or another. And we'll always need money to pay for our necessities. And we'll always have to keep ourselves healthy and safe, especially in this year. So I divided our life into 5 big categories. We can take a walk down the memory lane to see how we did in 2020. So the 5 categories that I have are health, career and businesses, finance, relationship, and self-development and self-learning. I like to do everything on pen and paper, so I'm going to show you the chart that I'm going to use to do the summary of 2020, and you can use your computer if you prefer. And here's my little ugly chart, so you get the idea. So in the middle, I have life 2020. You can put whatever you want. You can put your name. You can draw yourself there if you can. And here I listed 5 categories of life that I just mentioned. So you have career, business, finance, relationship, life learning, self-improvement, and health. And I think for health, finance, career, business are pretty straightforward, so you get the idea. And for relationship, I just want to mention that it's not limited to your romantic relationship. It can be any relationship between you and your coworkers, your friends, or maybe your parents, or with your dog, or any kind of relationship in your life. And also life learning and self-development, it can be hard because sometimes it overlaps with your business or overlap with your finance. But I think self-development will focus more on you being a better person. So for example, if you are a impatient person and you're trying to be more patient, or things like that, if you always procrastinating, and this year you learn to be a little bit better to stay on your schedule, that kind of things will fall under the self-development category. But I'll go into details about each categories as we go, so let's get started. So I made a little bit upgrade of my chart. I made it horizontal. It's just easier to read and write. And I will go over with you guys of my list, and I will also give you some questions or maybe a little reminder to help you go down your memory lane and pick up some success and achievements in your 2020. So what we're doing here for each category is that we're listing 5 achievements or 5 success in each category. And these achievements does not need to be record-breaking or crazy things that you have done in 2020. But obviously, if you made it to your local news, be sure to jot it down. But what I'm saying is I don't want this to be depressing for you that you realize you didn't really do anything. I want you to celebrate your little success and tell yourself, hey, I did pretty good this year, and let's look forward to next year to make it even better. So for example, under health, if you, let's say you drink a little bit more water every day than before. Before you're drinking 1 or 2 glasses and you're always dehydrated, and this year you drink 3 or 4 glasses a day, and that's a success. So put it down under health, and that's something we want to recognize and celebrate. And from there, we can go even further. We can take it to 5 or 6 glasses or even 8 glasses a day. So that's a type of achievements that I want you guys to write down, and that's what I write it down. So let's start with health. I'll put a list of questions that you can ask yourself to see if you have some achievements in that specific categories. And for me, under health, I made and ate breakfast every morning for the majority of the year, which I never done before because I was always rushing in the morning. But this year I decided to make a change. So every morning I have fresh made breakfast for myself. It's nothing crazy, mostly just toast, egg, and butter or something like that. But it's a big achievement for me and I feel really good about myself for doing that. So that's what I have under there. And you can pause the video right here, and based on the question that I listed on the screen, you can write down what you have done, if you worked out this year, if you lost some weight, or you felt lighter, you felt more energetic. Anything that is health related, you can write it down in this category. So pause the video and go ahead, write down what you have done, 3 to 5 things in this category. Next, we're going to finance. So I talk a lot about finance on this channel, and if you have watched my old videos, you probably already know some of these achievements, but I still want to go over with you guys just to celebrate this moment and enjoy this moment. Again, I will still post a list of questions that you can ask yourself, so feel free to pause the video anytime and write down your achievements in this specific area. And for myself, I put first, I paid off $16,000 credit card debt, and second, I saved up 6 months of expenses as my emergency fund. Third, I contribute about $10,000 to my Roth 401k. And fourth, I started to keep track of my finance starting in April. I purchased this Excel sheet and I started to track all my income, expenses, saving, investment, and everything. So now I have a very clear picture of how my finance is. So these 4 things are what I have under finance, and you can write your own. Next I have on the list is career and businesses. If you're a W-2 employee, you can pretty much copy and paste your job performance review from your work. Or if you have a side hustle or you're a business owner, of course you can take a look at how you've done in 2020. And again, it doesn't need to be money related or number driven. You should celebrate your small wins. So like for example, I started my Amazon shop this year. So I haven't made a lot of money. I don't think I made much money at all, but to me, starting it, set it up, and have it go live is a big win for me. So I just put started Amazon shop, and you can do the same thing. It doesn't need to be anything crazy. The second one is obviously I started this YouTube channel. I believe I started to upload in late April or May, and ever since I started, I kept my schedule to upload every week. And I only missed it twice this year since I started. One was because I was sick, and then I had a side on my eye, so I couldn't make a video. And believe me, there are hundreds of times when I don't want to make a video, but I dragged myself to make the video and make the upload every weekend. So that was a big win, and I was very proud of myself for doing that. And also I put something down for my job. I'm not going to go into details, but these are some examples that you can do if you even talk about some business ideas with your friends, or if there are some potential business adventures that you might be taking next year. But just recognize yourself for discovering the business opportunity or small things like that. Don't be too hard on yourself. Honestly, I think 2020 has given us a new perspective when it comes to relationships. It's always easy to make friends and maintain friends when it's easy, when you're having fun. But when difficult time comes, you realize who is your real friend, who would make the effort to connect with you, to care for you. And I see a lot of people they seem to be so busy, have so many friends to go to different parties, to go gatherings, and they suddenly became so lonely this year because they realized they have nobody to talk to. And there are also people who seem to be a loner or don't have a lot of party to go on, but they are okay. They feel more loved and more cared for in 2020. So if you're one of the people who always need to go to a party, get drunk over the weekend, maybe you should rethink how you should make friends. Maybe you should find someone who you can actually just talk to on the phone or FaceTime, or just to share your thoughts and feelings. And that goes for any relationships in your life, including family and friends, and also your romantic relationship. So 2020 is a good time to reflect on your relationship, to say, during the difficult times when you're stuck at home, when you're bored, you have nothing else to do, or you still enjoying each other's company? Do you feel cared for? Do you feel loved? Are you caring for others? For me, I feel like this year I actually spent a lot more time talking to my friends and listening to my friends. Because before, when everybody was busy, we have a million things going on all at the same time. We check in with each other, but we don't have time to go into details of what happened today, what happened yesterday. But because in 2020, a lot of things slowed down, a lot of things were on a pause. So there are a lot of feelings going on. There are a lot of nothing was going on. So we spent a lot of time to talk about every little things in our life. And as a result, I feel I'm more grounded. I feel like I cared for people around me more than ever before. And in return, I feel I was cared for. I feel loved in this year. So I think that's something that I'm very grateful for, and I feel that was a big achievement in my life for 2020. So I am continuing to do that in 2021, and hopefully I'll take this lesson with me for the future of my life. Feel free to pause the video with the list of questions that you can ask yourself, and write down a couple things that you feel proud of or you feel grateful for in 2020. Last but not least, life learning and self-development. This one can be a little bit confusing because a lot of times it overlaps with their business, career, or finance, and in other categories of your life, which is true. That's part of your life learning and self-development. But this one, I want to focus more of you as a person. So as I mentioned earlier, if you're an impatient person, you became a little bit more patient this year. That kind of stuff are listed under self-development. So for me, I list that I listened hours of videos and podcasts of self-development and anything in that kind. So a lot of times when I'm driving or I'm doing something else, I just put those videos or podcasts in the background so I can listen to. So for me, I listen to hours of videos and podcasts of self-development program or self-improvement, motivational speech, that kind of thing. So I listen a lot of Tony Robbins, Jim Rohn, Mel Robbins, or even Esther Perel. Those people who give you a different perspective when it comes to your life, success, self-control, relationship, and everything in that sort. So by listening to that, I am more aware of what's going on within myself, and I'm more aware of how I react, how I deal with my relationship with others, with the world, with job, and everything like that. So I think that falls into self-development category. And also, as I mentioned earlier, this year I started to get up early. So that was a lifelong struggle for me. And from those videos that I have watched or listened to, a lot of times we have this belief in ourselves that I'm not a morning person, right? That was the belief for myself for years. I always struggle in the morning because I'm one of those person telling people that, oh, instead of having breakfast, I'd rather sleep for another 5 minutes, or instead of having this and that, I'll give up anything just to sleep for another 5 minutes in the morning. And that extra 5 minutes or 10 minutes are the best of the sleep, but it's not true. And this year I decided to change that. I wanted to be able to have everything done and be in order before I leave the house. So I made that decision, and it actually was not that hard. So I became an early person, I guess. So that was one of the things that I'm very proud of. And also this year I tried meditation. I'm not doing it on a regular schedule, but I did try it. So that's something I think it was a good start. I will try to make it more regularly to incorporate it into my daily life, but that's something I have achieved under my self-development category. Hopefully by now you have a good 20, 25 to 30 things that you have written down for your 2020. And don't be so hard on yourself. 2020 was a difficult year for every single one of us. And I'm just glad that we're all here safe and healthy. And celebrate small wins, recognize your achievement, recognize your effort in 2020. And I will be making another video for goal setting 2021, hopefully next week or two. And if you have some big achievements that you want to celebrate with everybody, leave in the comment down below, and I want to be able to recognize that and celebrate that with you. With that being said, I'll see you guys next week, and have a happy holiday. Merry Christmas. Bye.